Good evening, everyone. All are very tired after a long day of, sessions after sessions. But now we have two more sessions here. So first session is going to be our student future entrepreneurs probably. So we are running a course for students. So Dr. Chinjay will talk more about it. So first session we're going to have 4 of those teams pitching here. They are going to present what their idea is and what the solution they are going to give. So to tell more about the course and for an introduction, I invite Dr. Chinjure for a.
Good evening to everyone. I'm sure we had a great day today. Long day, of course. We spoke about billions of dollars, in the morning, and we saw very interesting mentor mixture. I'm sure those who participated in that mentor mixture, I'm sure certainly you must have received a lot of insights, directions from some of the top-notch experts from the industry, from academia, and so on. So for this evening, when I was entering here, I felt that, oh, this must be some musical evening, right? Looks and feels like that. But of course, it's not going to be just musical evening. We will have some great experience like music from our students. See, these are the students, third year and fourth year students, and these our students who are going through this program. I will briefly talk about this program. These students, very young students, they are never ever exposed to industry, business, entrepreneurship, and so on. But we have very bold, contrarian, courageous, some 40 students who decided to join this particular course. The course is a very creatively designed, very innovative, and we named this particular course, it's a 3-credit course called Invent, because the purpose of this particular course is our students, our science students should be able to invent, and put after the invention, of course, they should commercialize and make it a big. Now, the objective of this particular course is how do we nurture this entrepreneurial mindset or nurture entrepreneurial skills within students of science. As we were discussing in the morning, students of science or the faculty members from the academic institutions can really create a lot of impact to the society, to the industry, to the nation, and so on. We thought, how do we bring some of the knowledge, practice, skills of entrepreneurship, of invention, of innovation to our students? This is a 3-credit course. This is the first pilot program or a course that we launched this year. It's a 6-step methodology that we developed for this particular course. This is a unique course in the world in that sense, from the design perspective. And of course, these 40 students, we call them pioneering batch. They are pioneering this first such entrepreneurial course in IISER ecosystem. And I'm very happy to share that it is not just about IISER Pune. IISER Kolkata students, they said that they will at least listen to the lectures delivered here. Look at the kind of response and traction that we have received. IISER Kolkata students, 40 plus students, they just listen. In fact, next week I'm going and spending in IISER Kolkata for a week to interact with the students. So we said that some of our student teams, again, they are very young. First time being introduced to innovation. First time they are being introduced to the business. First time they are being introduced, how to spot a problem, how to solve the problem, how to invent the problem. You are all gone far next steps. But we said our students should share whatever they have learned, whatever problems they have identified, the kind of solutions that they are looking at. And just imagine that it's just 3-credit course, means 30 hours or 35 hours of course. In spite of such a small course, such a time constraint, also having to do other courses as a part of a semester. They have been amazing students, and we said we will give this platform to our students at least to share, and of course, they will have immense learning, receive that confidence and courage to make such presentations. This program would not have been possible without institution support. The director is Professor Sunil Bhagwat, is very supportive of this program. Professor Shivaram, who has been a pillar or a spirit or a supporter behind this particular program, he said we must do this in IISER, and we have a larger plan for IISER students, this kind of a program. And so many faculties and our own faculty members and our startup founders, they have contributed to this particular program. So the first pioneering batch, 4 student teams are going to make a presentation. Please listen, give them an encouragement, applaud everything that they are doing, but remember that they are third-year students. They are not like you PhD students. With this, let us begin this first pioneering batches adventure to present your ideas in this particular e-plan platform or a competition. Go ahead, students, do well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chinjure, for that introduction. Now I would like to, without any further ado, let's go ahead with the presentations. So each team will have roughly 5 minutes to present their idea. So here you will listen to their idea, their problem and their solution. That's all you have to pitch. So for the first presentation, I'm calling team 1. Please come. You want to add something?
We would also like to introduce the jury for this pitching competition. Juries, can we have you here for a moment? So first we have Dr. Vid Karmarkar, Mr. Datta Nadkarni, and Dr. Sushil, an alumnus of IISER Pune himself. So let's give them a big round of applause. After jury evaluates, the teams will be given a prize, special prize by AIC-SEED. Because these students are really, as Arvind sir mentioned, they are very brave. They are able to multitask, manage their academic responsibilities, and yet find time for coming and pitching here. Hats off to you. Big round of applause to all our participants. Yeah.
They can contact me. The winners can contact me anytime for the next 6 months, and I'll make time for them.
Oh, great. Yeah. Right. Please have a seat. So the first team?
Team 1.
Team 1. What's the name?
Okay. I'm Harsh.
And I am Nikhil.
Mrunal.
So we are group 1 and today we are going to pitch our idea in the form of a skit and let us see how this goes on. Okay? Start. So how are you all guys? Yeah, okay. So our skit, basically we want to show how biodegradable plates as well as plastic plates are different and how can we change or bring a change by decreasing the plastic waste and introduce biodegradable alternatives. So as you all know, let us start with a very basic situation. Let's go into a universe where there are 2 Earths. Let's say we have Earth 1 here and Earth 2 there. On Earth 1, everybody uses plastic waste or plastic ware. And on Earth 2, everybody uses biodegradable alternatives. Let's see how there is a difference between Earth 1 and Earth 2. And I'm leaving you all to imagine how it works out. Okay? Get ready. So you all know Christmas is coming, right? So IISER is anyway going to give holidays for all of them. And also, you know, IISM is coming, so most of the BS-MS will be kicked out. So Mrinal being one of them, she's going to go home for holidays as an eve of Christmas, on the eve of Christmas, and she's going by train.
चाय ले लो, समोसा ले लो, चाय ले लो.
भैया एक चाय और समोसा देना.
ये लो दीदी.
ये लो पैसे.
ये देखिए.
इसे कहाँ फेंकूं अब? फेंक ही देती हूँ.
So the plastic plates that she threw fell into the rivers, and finally they reached the oceans.
Let's see the tail of microbes.
फेंकना।
अरे ये क्या चमकीला आया है यार, खा के देखते हैं।
यार कोई नहीं देख रहा, उठा दे जल्दी।
अरे ये क्या कड़क कड़क एकदम अंबुजा सीमेंट का बना हुआ है।
यार ये अंबुजा सीमेंट भी नहीं, ये अल्ट्राटेक सीमेंट है भाई। कौन फेंकता है साला
तोड़
चीज़
दिया
सब?
इसने यार।
अरे क्या हो रहा, गला में कुछ हो गया भाई। बोलो नेक्स्ट।
Let's see the tail of turtles.
अरे भाई 10 बज रहा है, अब तो निंजा टर्टल का ऑडिशन शुरू हो गया होगा। भागो जल्दी जल्दी भागो।
यार निंजा टर्टल 4 का ऑडिशन लेना है। ये आइसर का स्टूडेंट कहाँ है, कहाँ रह गया ये? हर जगह लेट करते हैं आइसर के स्टूडेंट, क्लास में भी लेट, ऑडिशन में भी लेट। नहीं चाहिए मुझे ऐसे स्टूडेंट, हटा दो इनको।
यार रोड पे तो इतना सारे स्पीड ब्रेकर नहीं आई सर, में समंदर में कौन फेंकता है यार स्पीड ब्रेकर? भाई साहब यार मेरा ऑडिशन चला गया, ऑडिशन। So you have seen, right, with the plastic waste everywhere around, people are very struggling. Now let's see how it happens on Earth too, where everything is biodegradable. Now as you all know, Christmas has come and she's going home. Again she's going by train. So let's see how it goes. One minute. Yeah, one more thing. Yeah, IRCTC has adopted our biodegradable plates. So even our train vendors are also using biodegradable plates. Let's see how it goes.
चाय ले लो, समोसा ले लो, चाय ले लो।
भैया एक चाय और समोसा देना।
ये लो दीदी।
इसे कहाँ फेंको अब? इसे कहाँ फेंको अब? फेंक ही देते हो। इंडिया इज नॉट फॉर बिगिनर्स।
So again, she has thrown biodegradable plates into the water, and through rivers it reaches the oceans. Now let's see the tail of microbes.
Microbes.
यार सुना है हम टट्टी खाते हैं, तुम्हें ये खाते खाते बुरा नहीं लगता?
भाई ये सब चीज़ें खाते वक्त नहीं बोलते हैं भाई, ठीक है? वैसे बोल ही दिया तो अब क्या करेंगे, देखो हमको आदत हो गया ये सब, ठीक है?
अरे ये क्या बढ़िया चमकीली चीज़ आई है, खा के देखते
उठा
हैं।
उठा जल्दी उठा जल्दी उठा।
अरे बढ़िया पाव भाजी ऐसा लग रहा है यार, खा के देख।
भाई साहब जो भी बनाया यार उसको माइक्रोब कम्युनिटी से सैल्यूट, रामराज। So now let's see the tail of tortoise. यार 10 बज गया, फिर से ऑडिशन शुरू हो जाएगा, मैं लेट हो गया हूँ, जल्दी भागो भागो।
यार निंजा टर्टल 4 का ऑडिशन लेना है, फिर से कहाँ रह गया वो बच्चा?
सर मैं आ गया हूँ, मैं आ गया हूँ, ये रजिस्ट्रेशन कर लो, मेरा नाम लिख लो, ठीक है? हाँ सर मैं आ गया हूँ, जल्दी
आ गए तुम, चलो तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन पक्का,
इतना जल्दी?
तुम्हें निंजा टर्टल 4 में दे देंगे रोल।
हाँ ठीक है, हो गया। तो सर एक चीज़ बताओ, मेरा रोल क्या हो सकता है?
तुम्हारा रोल, तुम्हें PhD स्टूडेंट बनना है।
भाई इतना दूर आया हूँ, भाग भाग के आया हूँ PhD स्टूडेंट बनने के लिए, ठीक है यार क्या करें। So guys, this is a very basic skit actually. So through this we want to demonstrate that we know that millions of plastic waste is produced every year and it goes into the oceans and other natural bodies. So we need to find out alternative ways to make sure that this plastic waste does not go into natural bodies and disturb the ecosystem over there. So what we have designed is there is a specific bioplastic known as PLA, that is polylactic acid. We all know that most produced bioplastic is also known as polylactic acid. And nowadays, at present in 2024, PLA is the most produced bioplastic. So what we have done is we have blended the PLA with chitin, because chitin has tensile strength as well as antibacterial properties. And if you take normal plastic plate like this, so we know that it has paper, then why should we have a PLA plate, right? Now this is a paper here, but if you see this side, this has a polyethylene coat over there. So this polyethylene coat is actually water resistant. So you're actually making, it's like saying you have water and add 1 drop of toxin in that and say that water is pure. So this is not the same thing. So we want to avoid any plastic in the plates that we already produce and make some biodegradable alternatives. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for such a wonderful performance, guys. So up next, I'll invite team number 2. So he himself is a team, like it's only one person coming and present from his team. A huge round of applause to this guy, man. Yash, that's okay, please.
Hello everyone. Let me start with the story. So basically, when I was a kid, my mother always used to tell me to never waste food, to always finish all the food that is there on my plate. I used to ask her, why is that? And she used to say, slums में लोग भूखे मर रहे हैं और तुम यहाँ खाना waste करोगे. So I used to listen to her and I used to eat everything that was there on my plate. When I grew up, I thought more about it. And I thought कि मेरे अकेले के खाना बचाने से कितने स्लम्स के भूखों की जान बच रही होगी. I was not pretty much satisfied with the idea. Recently, I was there in the mess, in the Shiv Sagar mess, and I was waiting for my food. So, since I had nothing to do, I started making small talk with the server there. I asked the guy, भैया आप बचे हुए खाने का क्या करते हो? Without skipping a beat, he said कि भैया वो तो हम फेंक देते हैं. I was really shocked knowing that. I went back to my room and opened my laptop and did some research. I found out that around 70 million tons of food waste is produced every year in India. And out of that, 12 million tons is produced by the service industry, that is by restaurants. I thought to myself, what can be done to solve this issue? Then came the idea of Freshcast. So basically, we have created this AI algorithm which predicts the amount of food and resources which will be needed by a restaurant during the particular day as well as time of the day. We use cutting-edge time series analysis and neural network techniques to basically estimate the amount of food which is going to be required by the restaurants accurately. This way, we save both the environment as well as we increase the profit for the restaurants. I know that मैं अकेला slums के भूखों की जान नहीं बचा सकता, but I think together all of us can. Thank you.
After hearing his presentation, like I got reminded of this movie called KGF. Usme there's this dialogue, you know, those who come with gang, they are gangsters. Those who come alone, he's a monster. So big round of applause to Yash, guys. It's really commendable thing. So up next, I'll invite team number 3. Please come on the stage.
अरे अंशुमन क्या चल रहा है?
कुछ नहीं भाई, जीवन ऐसे ही चल रहा है.
क्यों यार?
अरे यार क्या कर बताऊं, मेरे यार फादर को यार बहुत परेशानी रहती है.
क्या?
यार उनका कभी ब्लड प्रेशर कम रहता है,
कभी ज़्यादा रहता है, कभी ब्लड शुगर कम रहती है, कभी ज़्यादा रहती है।
फिर ट्रीटमेंट नहीं कर रहे?
ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा है, एक डॉक्टर को दिखाया था, उन्होंने मेडिसिन दी लेकिन कुछ इम्पैक्ट ही नहीं हुआ।
अरे यार फिर कुछ और टाइप के एडवांस टाइप के ट्रीटमेंट ट्राई करो ना यार।
भाई मुझे इतना ही पता है कि बीमार होते हैं तो डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, बाकी मुझे नहीं पता कुछ।
बाकी कुछ पता नहीं है क्या?
तुम बताओ ना।
अरे यार आजकल AI का ज़माना आ गया है, इतना आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, ये सब डेटा साइंस, यार बहुत सारी कंपनीज आ गई जो मॉडर्न टाइप का ट्रीटमेंट देती है, नहीं पता क्या?
और बताओ और बताओ।
यार हमारी एक कंपनी है यार, क्या करती है पता है क्या?
बताओ।
So what we do is that, so you have any problem, but you have just generalized treatment for these problems of medicinal problems, but you don't have a personalized treatment plans for your problems. What our companies do is that we take your data, so we have digital twin. So I will explain digital twin further, but what we do is that we take your data and then we feed it to our infrastructure, digital infrastructure, and then it will give some, it has predictive algorithms which will give some recommendations to you, that in that way you can have personalized treatment. ये पता है क्या?
समझ गया भाई। हर किसी के जूते का साइज अलग होता है, इसीलिए हर किसी का ट्रीटमेंट भी अलग होना चाहिए। बिकॉज हर किसी की जेनेटिक्स अलग होती है, हर किसी की कंडीशंस अलग होती हैं। बिल्कुल समझ गया।
यही प्लान है यार हमारे कंपनी का। ठीक है।
और भाई ओम भाई क्या चल रहा है?
कुछ नहीं यार, ठीक चल रहा है यार।
धंधा क्या चल रहा है आपका?
ठीक में चल रहा है यार, इतना कुछ खास नहीं चल रहा है, ऐसे ही चल रहा है।
क्या आपका तो बहुत तगड़ा प्रॉफिट होता है, आपकी तो इंश्योरेंस की कंपनी है।
नहीं यार कुछ नहीं है भाई, रोटी
अरे
पानी
क्या
हो रहा है।
पागल बना रहे हो क्या मुझे?
अरे नहीं यार।
क्यों?
अरे क्या बताऊँ यार, अब इंश्योरेंस का ये मतलब प्रीमियम ही बहुत कम हो जाता है यार, और क्लेम बहुत सारे हो जाते हैं, जेब से पैसा देना पड़ता है।
अरे तो प्रीमियम बढ़ा दो ना।
नहीं यार, मतलब हमारा प्रीमियम का कुछ पैरामीटर्स होता है, उस हिसाब से देते हैं यार।
क्या पैरामीटर्स होते हैं आपके?
पैरामीटर होता है यार कुछ एज, जेंडर और कुछ होते हैं 3-4, उसके हिसाब से
बस इतना ही। देखो मैं बताता हूँ आपको, जो इंश्योरेंस का प्रीमियम होता है वो रिस्क को मैनेज करने के लिए होता है, क्योंकि जब अगर क्लेम आए तो आपके पास देने को पैसा हो। अब वो कैसे होगा? क्योंकि आपने तो खाली एज के बेसिस पर प्रीमियम डिसाइड कर दिया, लेकिन आपके पास क्या ऑप्शन है कि जिसकी फ्यूचर में रिस्क ज़्यादा है, यानी कि जो ज़्यादा बीमार होने वाला है, आप उसको ज़्यादा प्रीमियम चार्ज करो, और जिसकी कम चांसेस हैं उसको कम चार्ज करो। अब वो कैसे हो सकता है? अगर हम आप ही का एक वर्चुअल आपकी हेल्थ को मैप करने के लिए एक वर्चुअल थिंग बनाएं,
ओके,
जो कि प्रिडिक्ट कर सके, यानी कि बेसिकली प्रिडिक्टिव एनालिसिस कर सके और आपको बता सके कि पर्सन ए की बीमार होने के कितने चांसेस हैं, तो उनका प्रीमियम उसके हिसाब से डिसाइड कर सके। और क्योंकि आपकी प्रीमियम डिसाइड करना ज़्यादा साइंटिफिक होगा, ज़्यादा लॉजिकल होगा, तो आपका प्रॉफिट भी क्या होगा? चोखा होगा।
अरे यार बिल्कुल काम की बात कर दी है।
अरे
थैंक यू।
कोई नहीं।
Okay. So I am Om
and I am Anshuman.
So our program is that we have a startup or company which focuses on medical health.
So our company name is Health Twin.
So our tagline is your health, your twin. So what our problem is that current healthcare treatments mainly focuses on single fit size solution for all the plans. So a treatment for all patient might be varied, but currently we have some standard treatment plans which healthcare industry applies for all the peoples. But in the case of US, 50% of the chronic treatment patients finds this standard treatment insufficient for their treatment plans. And also these accounts for 2.5 lakh deaths per year due to the like error in the treatment. So what our solution is that we have a digital twin model for this treatment of the patients. So what does that do is we have adaptive AI algorithms which will take the data from the patient. So it will take the data from wearables, then medical devices and electronic health records, and it will feed to the algorithms, and then we can have simulation of these patients' medical conditions. According to that simulation, it will give some recommendations for the treatment, and then we can have precise tailor-made treatment for each of the patient. So this is our plan.
So basically what government today is doing is focusing on digital health ID, and what it will do,
ultimately is increasing data points which are available for us. Also, there are wearable devices are getting very common. For example, Apple Watch, which is recording many of your health data points. So, and because genomics is getting really advanced, so earlier, maybe 20 years ago, for sequencing a human, genome sequencing cost a lot. But today it can be done for just thousands of rupees. So because of these, there is a lot of data available, and correct predictive analysis is need to be done so that patient health outcomes can be monitored and they can be custom made. So if we talk about our target market, so our target market is insurance providers, hospitals, and patients. So what we plan to do from patient side, because we are getting data, so we will launch a freemium model in which advanced features will be unlocked for payment, but basic plans will be free. For insurance companies, we will charge them consulting fees because we are kind of doing consulting on their pricing. So these are the main revenue streams, and from hospitals, we can charge subscription fees. If we talk about our target market, so this is a very huge market and growing at, so digital twin market in healthcare is a 1 billion market currently, and it is growing tremendously at 36% CAGR, so it's a huge market. So, so thank you for all listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, guys. Next, I would like to invite team number 4, which is the last team for the day. Please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ishani. These are my teammates, Lakshmi and Govin. Today, we are going to present a skit on sustainable fashion. We really hope you enjoy it. We all know about fast fashion, right? Those cheap, trendy clothes which don't last very long. Well, fast fashion is really fun. But is it fun for the planet? Not very much so. Let me give you a dirty little secret of the fashion industry. So every year, over 1 billion animals are killed cruelly for the fashion industry. Now let's meet someone who has been facing this issue firsthand.
I love this jacket. It's perfect. But leather, animals, chemicals, waste, I feel terrible about it. Isn't there something that feels like leather but comes without all the guilt?
Looking for guilt-free leather? Well, let me introduce you to bacterial cellulose.
Bacterial cellulose? You want me to wear bacteria?
Well, kind of. So bacterial cellulose is a natural fiber made of friendly bacteria. Think of it as a plant-based material grown in a lab. It's like leather, but cruelty-free, vegan, and fully sustainable. No animals, no pollution nightmares, just nature at work.
So in case you're wondering, haven't other companies tried this out already? Well, they have, but they have not cracked the code of making it truly accessible. That's where we come in. Our vegan leather is durable, it's affordable and sustainable, and it provides eco-friendly products for everyone.
Exactly. Unlike some other big companies, we want that sustainable fashion should be accessible to everyone and not just for those with deep pockets.
But does it last long? Does it feel like leather?
Yes, ma'am. It gives you all the look and feel of the leather with none of the guilt.
So imagine the shoes you're wearing, the belt you wear, the purse you carry, the jacket you wear. Everything is sourced cruelty-free. This is not just a product. This is a movement for sustainable fashion.
So when can I get my hands on this bacteria chic jacket?
Very soon. And we are looking for partners who believe in guilt-free glam. So if you are ready for the future of fashion, come and join us to make this world sustainable.
So if you think leather, think better. Think vegan leather, where fashion meets a sustainable future.
Thank you.
Thank you, team number 4. Now we'll just wait for like 5 minutes, post which we have a fireside chat with our incubators at AIC-SEED. So today we have almost 7 of our incubator startups joining us today. All of them are from academic background, so you can relate to them more. So we'll take another 5 minutes.
I would like to invite any of the Plan E participants on their experiences, feedback so far. Any of the Plan E participants? See, if you don't come here, I'll have to call out. Remember that you are the ones who are going to get funding from AIC-SEED. And if I don't see the initiative, if I don't see the hunger is only for biscuits. Come on. We have Plan E participants from all over the country. This is for the benefit of the students who have joined us today. We have been holding this boot camp, 2-day boot camp, where 27 teams from all over India have joined us for this Plan E boot camp, wherein they are exploring alternate careers, career in entrepreneurship. Welcome, Dr. Anita. Thank you. Please share your feedback.
Thank you. To be frank enough, the Plan E idea is something unique in the way that, we have been discussing from morning also. Generally, just now you people have given a good skit where you have studied the problems that are being faced by the society or what is happening to the environment. So you have started from there and started planning to build a problem solution, and then you are planning to go to the market. That is the way in which you people have are starting your business. But Plan E participants are starting in a different manner, totally different manner, unique, innovative, that we started working on our own ideas. We started working only in our labs. We never had an idea that we will go into the market for any startup or any other such sort of activities. We being academicians, we are more bothered about getting the results, how to get the results and how to publish it up to that level. Maybe recently we started thinking about the third aspect, that is how to patent it. This is the place where I was like fascinated. Once I saw there was a flyer that came to me through some, I don't exactly remember from where I could get the flyer, that why can't we convert this PhD or the lab experiments that we have been doing can be converted into startup. This is something fascinating, and we started discussing, and then came this idea where lab experiments also can be converted into a startup. So that is the basic difference between the remaining startup versus the Plan E entrepreneurs who are going to become unicorns in future. This is the uniqueness that we could see. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. One more? Okay. So other Plan E participants, you lost your chance. And the judges are here, the moment that we are waiting for. Sushil, you could do the honors of the stage.
Hi, good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you. Thank you, Shweta, for considering us to judge these awesome presentations. And it didn't seem that you're too naive. You understood the problem and all the teams put it very well together. So big round of applause to all of you first, like this is needed. The ranking system doesn't matter. We were figuring out like there was touch and go, doesn't matter. I'll tell you what you did awesome and what can be improved. That's what it is. It's not like something was bad there. Everything was good. So let me try with the one, like, let me do the judging part, or how do you want me to do, like fourth, third, second one, or you want me to go with the ranking from the beginning? I'll let you to choose. 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go that way. So unfortunately, the fourth person was the first team, but I'll tell you what good you did. Cool skit, was awesome idea. The way you did it was very well done. You defined the problem very in the beginning. But one thing I noticed is like for example, you tell what needs to be done. You find a problem, and so if you are going to war, you cannot read the whole report. You need to like summarize it, what your solution is in the first place itself. Like, in the very beginning, tell what the solution is and then build on it. So that was what was missing with you. And there was quite a lot of copy pasting the same stuff. It bores people, but it was a good idea. Like, idea was good. You could improve in a sense. You could start that one thing, one situation, and somehow define it so that it gets it in a very nice way. It pivots easily. It doesn't drag. So, because people are just listening the same thing again and again. So if that is the situation, then it gets boring. That's the only thing, but it was awesome script, amazing work, congratulations. Like, the third team was the one that was with AI Tech. I'm sorry, I didn't write the name of the team. You had a very good solution and you came up with amazing problems to solve, wherein you were trying to figure out the, I forgot the team name. Sorry. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, I didn't remember your names. Please forgive me for that. You had a very good situation fit and presentation. The platform, so you're presenting a platform technology. The one place where you could improve is when you're pitching to an audience, pitch one question. You had multiple technologies and people didn't know what your product was. Like, तुम जब बेच रहे हो, you are telling your story, stick to one simple idea. Multiple things get people confused. Like, are you doing an insurance thing? Are you doing like something more? Or what is the question that you're solving? That gets muddied. So if you could improve on that, you are awesome. All right. Big round of applause for them as well. They did amazing work too. So the second team is for the food saving, the monster. So you had a good personal story that sells. Always bring a personal story why you're doing it. Always people want to know why and why you. It's a team that is funded, or the team, like the ideas are dime a dozen. Everybody has them. Why should you be considered to go ahead with that idea is the bigger challenge. So you brought in your personal story. You told all about why it is important, how it relates to you. That was amazing. The one thing that I have noticed is teams, when you're talking, who's your audience, you look at them. The moment you look down, that shows you're not confident. That shows if you're not confident in your idea, how will someone else be confident in you? It just show off at one point. It's just telling that you can do it. As an entrepreneur, you have to say, come what may, I'll do it. So improve on that and it'll be amazing, right? So the last team is, the first is the fashion, sustainable fashion, amazing idea. You found a niche thing. You had a clean story. You came up with a good idea, you presented it well. It made sense. People could understand it. There was no extra theatrics around it. It was like one idea, one product, one solution. And how you could improve is work on your business model or something, how you would bring it out. That was what was missing. Like, you have an idea, that's good. But you could say, okay, where will you source it from? We'll make it from the lab. Or how will you bring it out? Like, do you have a team? Something like just build story around it. And then it's a clean, good product. That's awesome. So that's what I want to say. And thank you all. It was amazing to listen and watch you all. And I'm impressed. I hope I had this chance when I was doing my master's in IISER, like there's nothing like this. So I'm jealous of you people, I hope you continue this work. Thank you.
I request all the jury members to come on the stage, please. Let me invite team number 4, team number 1 who got the 4th place to be on the stage, please. All of you guys, please come on the stage. Please give a big round of applause for the efforts they put in. They only had a very short, few days that we have given, and they have come up with such a brilliant skit. We should applaud for them, please. Next, I invite third place, team number 3 onto the stage, please. Guys, big round of applause for the team, guys, please. Now for the second place, team number 2, Yash, please. Next, team number 4 for the first prize of rupees 10,000 and the first prize that we are getting. Please come on the stage. So for the first prize, we are giving rupees 10,000 rupees, and yes, which will split equally between the team who has put in the effort. We have Ishani, we have Govind, and we have Lakshmi on the stage. Please. I actually forgot to announce other prizes for the which is the main part actually. So for the first prize, as I announced, we have 10,000 rupees. For the second, we are giving 5,000 rupees. And for the third, we are giving 3,000. And for the fourth also, we are giving 2,000 rupees. So all of us are happy equally. I mean, you all guys have put in wonderful effort, guys. We just gave them hardly a week to prepare, and great, good job, good job. Yeah, thank you for showing up. Yeah. And thanks a lot for the judges and the mentors who were present here for the entire day. Actually, they are here from the beginning.
Thank this guy. This is the one who's doing this.
No, I mean, he's being too nice. But yeah. Now let's go to the next session of the evening. So we have our startups, our incubators, who have been with us for a couple of years now, at least all of them. And now we thought, let's give you a first-hand experience of how, it's academician, most of them from academia, how they have decided that decision to go ahead with the, starting a company and going with their own decisions to start a company. So it's going to be very interactive. So probably they're going to introduce themselves for like initial first 5-10 minutes. Post that, it's open to questions. You please throw in any questions that you have in your mind. All of you are from academia. You have the doubts. You are still testing the waters. This is the right place that you can clear off all your doubts. So yeah, so we'll start in next 5 minutes. Okay? Yeah, please. Thank you. So let's start the event. So we have one more startup coming in. Mostly she's running a little late, but let's start the session. So I would like to start with Dr. Ranjit Joshi. Let them. Okay. Yes, from that side, please. Yeah, ladies first. We should start from there. That's true. So first 5 minutes, they're going to tell us about what their idea is and what their company is doing, and kind of a little intro about themselves and their journey throughout the years. So over to you, Kanchan.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Kanchan Mone, and I am CEO of Materials Magica LLP, and we are developing advanced material for sustainable development in our company. Right now, we are focusing on air purification, and there are many other materials which we are developing for healthcare as well as for water purification. And my background is I have done my PhD in polymer chemistry, and right now I'm learning. Yeah, I'm learning the business things right now.
There's not a single day when Kanchan doesn't get a dose from me. You forgot to mention that. But she's an awesome entrepreneur. We have seen her journey from last 2 years. And today, most of you may remember that we handed over an air purifier to our chief guest. It was made by Kanchan's company.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, myself Uma Shankar. I am a PhD student of physics department, and I have started my startup OSM Private Limited working on solar concentrator based on Fresnel lenses. So Fresnel lenses have advantage that they are made up of acrylic, which can be very cheap. Right now they are costly, So I am trying to develop it at a cheaper rate. I am getting success at a smaller scale. Now I want to scale up at large, like large kind of systems. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Arsh. I'm the co-founder of BioFound Biotech. So in our startup, we genetically engineer microbes for the biofuel sector. Right now, the ongoing project is for enhancing the yield for bioethanol production, which goes into petrol and diesel blending. A bit about my background. A couple of years back, I was a BS-MS student, just as most of you here. I graduated from IISER Pune in 2023. And a lot of you might be thinking why I decided to start my own company. So while I was in IISER, one thing kept on pinching me was that people do excellent work here. Cutting edge research is going on here, but a lot of my friends always talked about publishing papers. कि यार nature में publish करना है. So what I thought was that this should not be the end goal. What is the real life application over here? What is it that I am doing for the country, for the environment, and for myself? Luckily, there was an EIC cell in IISER Pune, but at that time, we were just 3 or 4 people there. We hardly organized 1 or 2 events, and then COVID came up and everything stopped. But luckily, on LinkedIn one day, Aditya contacted me. He was like, bro, I'm interested in biotech, wanna have a chat. And somehow I said, yes, why not? So I didn't know him before. We met a couple of times, discussed different ideas. And after discussing it with him, I decided ki, yeah, this is something that I can do. This is the right time where I can implement my knowledge to take what I know to the next level. And that's how I decided to start my own company. As soon as I completed my master's thesis, I came back and got my company registered within a month. And it's hardly been a year now, still a lot to do, still a lot to learn. But it has been a very fun and learning experience for me. So I hope you all are motivated by this and you also try to implement what you have learned in a real life basis. Thanks.
Yeah, hi. My name is Nilesh, and I'm the founder of Tardigrade Private Limited. We are a diagnostics company. So what we do is we develop diagnostic solutions which you can implement at a patient's bedside. So instead of the current solutions where you take a sample and transport it all the way to a path lab, what we want to do is be able to diagnose a patient by their bedside. And we've been at it for about 7 years. We've been at IISER Pune for 3 years. We are working on 2 different diseases, tuberculosis and C. difficile infections. So that is what the company does. As far as my background, it's slightly more evolved. So I'll just keep it short. I have a master's degree in chemistry from IIT Delhi, and I went for my PhD studies abroad, and I got a MS there because halfway through the program I switched into the entrepreneurship track. My first startup idea got a small grant from the university, and I went on to secure some additional funding for it. After that, for about 7 years, I went to San Francisco for my second startup, where we worked on drug development. We were developing protein drugs that can be taken orally. If you can solve that problem, that's at least a $500 billion idea right there. We were obviously not able to solve the problem, but there was a lot of interest in the idea. Me and my wife, we decided to come back to India about, like as I said, 6 to 7 years ago, because we wanted to do something over here. And our original plan was drug discovery and diagnostics. Diagnostics seem to have a lot more interest because drug discovery takes a lot of time to develop. So there's not a lot of people who will back do those efforts. This was 7 years ago. So now things are getting progressively better. So yeah, that is where I'm at. I've had this nice sort of transition from academia to entrepreneurship, being part of 3 startups. So I've seen the good, bad, and the ugly, and I'll share mostly the good. The bad and ugly, I think most of you, once you sort of make the jump, you'll figure it out anyways. And I hope to sort of, have a conversation instead of us just talking. So, yeah, that is about me.
Thank you for inviting us here and share our stories. So I start with myself. So I am Dr. Yogesh Jadhav. So I have completed my master degree in nanotechnology from Aurangabad University. Later I came to Pune for my PhD, and I started my PhD journey with Pune University, and I got trained on the materials development and electrochemistry. So basically during my PhD I developed various materials and tested for it electrochemical applications, typically in energy field. Later I started my first job in Mumbai University. Then I left the Mumbai University. Then I came back to Pune again, Pune University Physics Department. Later again I switched that job to Symbiosis, and typically in these 4 years after completion of my PhD, so I left 4 jobs. The probable reason for leaving that job is a kind of satisfaction and happiness. So typically our startup, we incorporated our startup company because of only one personal reason. So my daughter, she was like 1 week old, and we admitted her because of infection. And during that typical tenure of 1 month, I was there in hospital, lots of discussion with doctors for the infections. So the typical timeline for getting a diagnosis of any infection is typically kind of 4 to 5 days. So that was a very bigger thing for a patient who are suffering with the severe infections. So with the discussions of the doctor, so they said that the first thing is like urine routine, you get a result at the end of day. Then after that, if you found an infection, so typically they suggested a urine culture. So typically that takes almost 3 to 4 days, and at the end of 4 to 5 days you'll get a result because of what pathogen there is an infection, and then treatment start. Till that moment, the treatment is either based on doctor's expertise, or either it is a trial and error. So that was a huge loss to patient in all aspects, like financial, health, and everything. So with that typical 1 month journey in a hospital day and night, I discussed this thing with many colleagues, and then I found 2 of my co-founder. So one is a microbiologist, the another one is a biotechnologist, and I am myself a material scientist. So we founded a startup for the infectious diseases, and putting a target to get the result on the same day. And typically when you receive any sample, so it will be treated with our developed molecular probe, that is typically nanomaterial based probe. So once you incubate that probe with your sample, so even there is a hundreds of bacteria within a 1 ml of sample that will be able to capture, and will identify what type of pathogen it is, or at what level the infection is there, and then treatment will start. So typically these will save almost 4 to 5 days, even the cost of diagnosis and the time. So what we believe in this journey, that many people die because of not only that disease, because of delay in the diagnosis. So we are focusing that reducing the time of diagnosis and getting the results on time, and then treatment will start, and everything will be kind of at happy end. So we are developing a molecular probe with AIC support. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, good evening all. I am Ranjit. I am a polymer chemist by profession. My journey started for starting enterprise with one notion which I read just after my post-graduation. By the way, I am the person who is carrying the highest number of silver hairs here. So I am the richest man just overhead, just like you, sir. So I am already 50. So during my profession, I started working on research with a notion that science is the celebration of human spirit. So this is what I read, and I was scintillated by this thought. Yes, research is something. करना है तो मुझे research करना है. When I started my career with National Chemical Laboratory in 3 to 4 years of time, I understood a new notion, which is science is the second biggest business in the world and planet Earth. So obviously, just to arouse the query, what is the first? It is of course the capitalistic polity or capitalistic democracy that this politician runs. They run the highest portfolio. For doing persuasion, I started continuing after 8 years working with industries. I continued a career to start with an PhD at Technical University in Berlin, Germany. Then I've done my postdoc. While working with India, in India for 8 years, and again stayed in Europe for almost 8 years, seen around the world, and I created a clear impression with me. भाई जॉब करनी है तो यूरोप में करेंगे, धंधा करना है तो इंडिया में करेंगे. So I just shared that thought with you. So I was quite clear. अगर इंडिया जाना है तो कुछ खुद पे करना है, लेकिन but I was not as being a person with total research career, means hardcore to the bone marrow. I'm a researcher. I do not have any good idea about the accounts, financing, anything, but I was willing to do it. क्या करना है मुझे मालूम नहीं था, but I was scouting. When I started my job, I started with Clariant, one of the biggest companies in specialty chemical, just after in the lines of BASF. So I understood there are areas, but I could not conceive that. Just for 3 to 4 years, I worked on some concept, I lived it. उसके बाद जॉब चेंज किया. मैं बोला दूसरी जगह देखते हैं जो जहाँ पे अलायंस अपने को इलेक्ट्रोप्लेटिंग में मिलता है क्या, इसी इसमें. So I took a bigger position in electroplating business where I was handling complete R&D of almost 60 researchers in Gurgaon. And just in 1 year, people approached me क्योंकि वहाँ पे इतना ज़्यादा करने को था. So I understood some 3 to 4 problems, and we resolved 1 to 2 problems in some 1 to 1.5 years during that time. I collaborated on the idea with my current partner. उसने कहा कि भाई मैं वर्कआउट करता हूँ जब तक तू तेरा जॉब चलने दे, और जब जॉब हो जाएगा तो मैं तुम्हें जब ये सेट हो जाएगा आइडिया तो आई विल टेल यू. तो 4 साल के बाद उसने बताया कि आई थिंक दिस इज़ हाई टाइम. सो इट वाज जस्ट ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ कोरोना. मोदी जी ने जब डिक्लेयर किया कि भाई कल से बंद है, घर से बात मत करो, उसके 3 महीने पहले हमने डिसाइड किया कि हम कि ये करूँगा, और मैंने पेपर डाल दिया था. सो आई रिज़ाइन दैट टाइम. इन हड़बड़ी में मैं कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट भी कर चुके थे. सो जैसे ही 3-4 महीने हो गए तो हमें समझ में आ गया कि ये तो बड़ा भयंकर डिसीजन हो गया भाई. तो लेकिन फिर भी वो जो व्हेन वी वर इन सेलुलर जेल्स ड्यूरिंग द कोरोना टाइम, दैट टाइम वी इन्वेंटेड समथिंग न्यू, and with that invention we put a proposal to AIC, Atal Innovation Mission, and that proposal has hit 1 crore in waste management. So we have been awarded a prize by AIM AIC into waste management, and that actually give me a boost कि भाई मैं कुछ कर सकता हूँ, यानी ऐसा ही वेस्ट रिसर्चर नहीं हूँ मैं. So that was a passion driver for me. And from that time onwards, I have been divesting different ideas from last 2 to 3 years in AIC BAMU as well as in AIC-SEEDs in different areas of developing some new resins into waste management and developing new coatings from renewable materials. So that's the shortest part of my journey. And it is almost 25 to 28 years I have put in almost 3 to 4 minutes.
So thank you, founders, for that brief intro. I'm being slightly sarcastic. It was not so brief. I wanted the participants to interact and ask those questions, but you revealed many of the answers beforehand. Nevertheless, I have some set of questions. I will just tell the question, and whoever wants to take it first will take it. Only one person can answer that question. Okay, after we finish all of you, then we'll hand over the mic to the participants. You can be very honest. And first question is, which is your eureka moment where you felt that, yes, I can chuck all this academic research career and switch to entrepreneurship and make money?
When I was doing my PhD, in Germany, there is a gradation for PhD. Unlike all the countries, there is no country, perhaps I think Netherlands is there, who grades the PhDs. So for this PhD grade, I got the highest grade in university. That is summa cum laude. There are 3 grades: cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude. So I was not aware of it. So my professor told me that you have got the highest grade in the university. So if there are 100 people who are coming in all the faculties together, including art, science, humanities, and whatever, blah, blah. So only 3 people out of 100, they get this grade. So they say, you are really special, Ranjit. So I asked him, what do you mean by special, sir? So he told me that you can drive things on your own, because the grade has been given to you on the basis of the drive that you create. So that was the first time which I thought that the PhD thesis, as well as the publications, as well as the proposals for creating new ideas for my professor and getting new PhD students on that funding, was done by me during just 3 to 3.5 years. And I thought that I can be efficient enough to drive on my own. That was the first trigger point for me.
Thank you, Ranjit ji. See, there are fireworks to your answer. Okay, next question. Who goes for it? Your happiest memory as an entrepreneur?
When we receive first Amazon order from Delhi.
As a customer?
As a seller.
Most learning moment as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so for me, it has not been a single moment as such. The whole journey till now has been a learning experience, given either in terms of the experiments that I'm doing in the lab or the other things related to how a business works, how you do market research, how you understand what the customer actually needs. So all of this, has been a process till now, and this is going to continue for a very, very long period of time. So yeah.
It's the clarity you get when you switch now, start a company. You see the entire world, completely differently, and you start seeing, okay, oh, this is how this company makes money. This is how they, this is what the business model that is working over here. When you start seeing all of that moment of clarity, I wouldn't say, I don't know if you can call it as happiest, but it is something that you'll remember. Like I remember that happened when I was walking from my university to downtown Detroit. It's about a 2-mile walk. And as I was walking, I could see, these businesses, restaurants, all of this. And I had done that for 4 years. Every, weekend I used to walk from the university to downtown, but I'd never thought about it that way. When I was about to start my company, I started seeing it in a different light. So it's very similar to what you were saying.
Right, that's great. Any memory when you have turned down an offer from an investor?
I'll go. Should I go? Yeah. So we actually turned down an offer. It was a VC arm of a French company. This was my second startup. So they were interested in the technology, and but they wanted. We had filed provisional patent, but we had not filed a full patent yet. And they wanted us to file a full patent through their lawyers, and they wanted us to send our data to them so that they could draft the full patent and file the patent. And in exchange of that, we were offered $3 million. And it was a very difficult decision to turn it down because we needed that money. And the company closed after that because we couldn't raise funds, and they knew that we needed the money. So sometimes it's something to think about, like whether maybe we should have accepted the money. It just didn't sit right that a venture capitalist wants to get in so early, and they are insisting that all the IP process, which is basically what the company is at that stage, should go through them. So that is when we, turned down that investment. Doesn't mean you have to do the same thing, but it didn't feel right for us. Had we, gone ahead with it, maybe, we would have done differently. I don't know. But it felt it didn't feel correct to sort of hand over everything to somebody for a small stake at a stage where we really, wanted the funds. So yeah, that's my.
So how many are remaining who haven't answered my questions? Okay, difficult one for you now, huh? Most embarrassing moment as an entrepreneur. Most embarrassing moment as an entrepreneur that you could go back in time and erase.
So actually, it is a difficult thing to discuss, but many times it happens that when we discuss with anyone. So earlier it was like a passion to discuss about your science during a PhD journey or during the job journey. So that was what I think that was a kind of one-time job. Once you publish a paper, so that just a number for you. But when you think as an entrepreneur, as a product owner, so that should be a reliable, that should be a reproducible, everything should be a perfect case. So since being after an entrepreneur or during this journey, I many times I realized that many things are not reproduced as it reproduced for the first time. So when you just cross check yourself multiple times, you observe that there are lack of failures in your process. So I said like just yesterday with the sir, just this is an example. Sir, I got this result. So he said just let me show in front of me. So I just started everything and that fails. So that was a kind of impressing moment many times. That was not for the first time, but it happens all the times. So you have to be very perfect when you're thinking about a product or going into the market. Thank you.
Can I add to him or?
Yeah, you can add. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, this reproducibility is a feature of any business. If you have a way of selling a smartphone, it has to be a repeatable process. Only then that you'll be able to repeatedly sell a smartphone, for example. This is true, and so anybody who is in this sort of high-tech, high-end businesses, that is a big problem, because what happens is when you read a paper, in paper everything looks solved, and when you try to make that work in the lab, it is not necessary that it will work. Okay, so you are going on the good faith that all the people who published papers so far have been accurate, and because science and research is a human activity, that is not true. And so whenever you are starting with an idea, until the stage that you start talking about it publicly with everybody, between that you need to be very certain that whatever you are saying you will do, you can do it. Like one of these times when we thought we had these 2 enzymes purified to a acceptable degree, I started calling up everyone. I set up, some of these small sales channels and everything. And that was 8 months ago. And I had to basically go back on my word with, some of these people who were my friends, and tell them that, hey, we don't have it yet. Like, we have the thing, we are making it in the lab, but it is not scalable, reproducible, and, with a degree of certainty that it can go out in the market. So having to go back on something that you said you're doing is quite embarrassing. Completely agree with him.
Any regrets choosing the path of entrepreneurship? Do you feel you should go back to academia or research? You've already answered. I'm looking. Umashankar? No regrets?
Hello. Sometimes it come in mind, because like initially you are getting really good results, and when you are going to reproduce it, it is not getting exactly what sir is talking about. So initially I tried something at large scale and get an awesome result. There was bit of imperfection, and I like completely discarded that and started again. After that I tried a lot of time, I didn't get that kind of result. So sometimes it feel like I have to, because money is the thing which is one of the most important part of your life. You have to get money by any source. Either you have to do job or you have to be in this business.
Okay, one last question. Um, how do you feel being a salesperson from being a scientist? Do you enjoy it?
Little bit. Because to sell anything is very difficult, I think, than doing research in the lab. Because you have to talk more, lot and lots of people you have to meet, then you have to you have to convince him. Yeah, then and in research only you have to convince your mentor and a person who is going to give you degree. That's it. But here you have to convince each and every person, and the people are from different background. That is the most difficult task, I think.
Thanks, Kanchan. Now, before we hand over the mic to the participants for their questions, we'll just pass the mic round. In one word, you have to say each one, starting from Ranjit ji. Just in one word, your experience at AIC-SEED. Great minds think alike. Ranjit ji.
Right place.
Excellent.
Okay. Wow.
Awesome.
It's been a roller coaster ride for me.
For me, it's very supportive.
For me, it's learning.
So my question was a bit different. Like, why you need an incubator? Like, because most of them are aspiring entrepreneurs, right? They want to start their company. And why do you think an incubator is important for a startup?
That is not one word.
I mean,
It is cannot be told in one word.
Yeah.
हाँ? So 2-3 लाइन तो बोलनी पड़ेगी. खीसे में कितना पैसा है और इंक्यूबेटर कितना लेता है, तो ये इक्वेशन जब जो कोई मैच करता है उसे इंक्यूबेशन का फैसिलिटी चूज़ करने में आसानी होती है. जस्ट क्रॉस दी रोड इनोवेशन सेंटर है, वो मैं अफोर्ड नहीं कर पा रहा था और मुझे दिखा कि यहाँ पे मुझे जो फैसिलिटी जो लगती है मिनिमम बेयर मिनिमम वो मैं यहाँ पे कर सकता हूँ और मेरी सारी की सारी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है यहाँ पे पूरी हो सकती है. सो दिस इज़ द बेस्ट क्लास मैन. दैट्स इन वन वर्ड आई हैव सेड राइट प्लेस.
आप हर चीज़ नहीं कर सकते हो, इसीलिए इनक्यूबेटर ज़रूरी होता है. क्योंकि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट टास्क हमने जब हमारा कंपनी चालू किया था तो इट वाज लाइक ऑलमोस्ट 1.5 year ओल्ड. बट 1 साल इनकॉर्पोरेशन करने के बाद भी हम कुछ नहीं कर पाए. जस्ट कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेट हो गया, उसके बाद हम कुछ नहीं कर पाए बिकॉज ऑफ लैब नहीं था, मेंटरिंग नहीं था, हर चीज़ के लिए हम स्ट्रगल कर रहे थे. तो मैंने बहुत सारे इनक्यूबेटर्स देखे आजू बाजू में, सबसे बात किया. जब मैं AIC आया, अश्विन से मिला. एक्चुअली अश्विन वॉज द फर्स्ट पर्सन. तो एक 15 मिनट का मीटिंग हुआ हमारा. 15 मिनट के बाद मेरा इमीडिएट डिसीजन हो गया, भाई ये आना है. And then we immediately given all agreement and related documents and we incubated. And my experience personally from the last 6 months we incubated here. So it was excellent because at every point they are available to discuss with us. They are available to support us. They are available to arrange the facilities which is required for us. Yeah, that's all from my side.
I mean, he actually said it quite well. You can't do everything. So that's the reason you need incubation. There are multiple aspects for an incubation. The first is the cost, right? Like that occupies maximum of somebody's headspace when you're starting. How do I keep costs down? Incubation helps over there because you get access to a high-tech facility at what is actually like a minimal cost. Although I would still argue for lower rents, but in general what I would say is that if you're working on biotech or anything that is not tech, like not the traditional tech where you just if you can work on a laptop, you may not need incubation because of cost advantages. You will need incubation for other things, mentorship, networks, things like that. But if you're working on anything to do with any of the things that I mentioned over here, advanced manufacturing, any of these things, biotech, it helps keep costs down. The second thing is the help and the network that you get. You will not have that on your own. No matter the way an institution can leverage a network, an individual can't. So that goes without saying. And then there is also a small amount of credibility. or we have one more participant.
Yeah,
I
Manasi,
think. Yeah.
There's
one more thing, which is, there's a small amount of credibility you gain. If you're getting incubated at an AIC center, you pass through a filter, right? Somebody does some checking about your idea, about whether it is possible to take the risk with you or not. So that is a good enough start for you. Okay. Incubators are supposed to be somebody who will handhold you and who will sort of try to, guide you towards the less riskier path. But for that, they need to be certain that the team will execute. And that is why the written form and the interview that happens is because of that. So if you're incubated somewhere, you tell anybody outside, it is a type of a validation. Okay, so these are some of the reasons why you need incubation, to answer your question. Okay, you are directly on the spotlight now.
We have Manasi here. Manasi, just you have 1 minute to introduce yourself about your startup.
This is Manasi. I'm IISER alumnus, and we have a startup in lung cancer detection. We are developing a simple blood test to detect lung cancer at early stages and have vision to develop multi-cancer early detection in the path. Why I chose to be an entrepreneur, that's because I always wanted to translate the findings that we research in academia, and that was the drive. But I didn't translate my own PhD findings. These are the findings of I don't know how many thousands of people across the world. So that's the platform that we have developed. How can we translate different unstructured data into structured findings and use it for our benefit? So that's what we are doing. And any other question that
No more questions they'll ask for. We're just opening a house for the session. Yeah.
So just adding a bit, so like you talked about network. So you have an idea, you can work on it. When you have access to an incubation center, you get to get to interact with a lot of people and build your network. So your idea today, you think it might work, tomorrow it might fail. But in the end, what you still have would be the network that you have built over the time. Those can be friends, fellow founders. Those can be potential customers, business partners, and whatnot. And from a personal experience, so as I have a biotech startup, so this something like that you can't set up at your home. You can't set up a microbiology facility at your home, even if you have all the equipment and whatnot. So you need a facility that has all the legal rights to do that. So that is one more advantage that you have. But network is something that people a lot of time underestimate, and that is something you should really appreciate when you have.
Hello. So for me, the most important, you are the supreme. If you are starting a company, you are the supreme most. If you have a small team, or then you should, or you have to be someone on like who can guide you, like who can tell you what you are doing wrong. So sometimes you have to get idea. Are you going in exact right direction or in wrong direction? Another part for me here in the IISER Pune, I am the student of IISER Pune. Whenever I want to get access any facility, I can get it. That is another advantage. And the most important part, the team AIC is really humble. They are ready, always ready to listen. And I am not saying because I am here and they are here, so I just want to praise. That is the reality. I tried to contact other person also after that, but I didn't get such kind of response from other incubators.
So from the audience, handing over the mic to you, Plani participants.
Hello, I'm Ranjan Dattakalita from Assam. It is a nice platform to see you all over here discussing how you came up into your entrepreneurial journey. My question to, I think your name is Harsh, right? Third one? Yeah, okay. To you, yeah. Because you have said that you are doing genetic engineering in microbes and in the lab, and you are still carrying out the experimentation part. So my question to you is, how are you managing the funds?
So in the beginning, just to set up the lab, we put in some of our own money just to, just set up the lab. But later on, we, applied for different government funds. So there are a lot of funds for different sectors. And, that has been quite helpful. So we received the RKVY Raftar grant, which is for the agri space. And so we got a 5 lakh grant for it. And, we have been, using those funds. Apart from that, there are also certain fellowships that the government schemes have. So I received the DST Nidhi EIR fellowship. So I have been using those funds as well to, cover up the costs. Or the other, let's say we had to do a field visit. So to cover those costs, I use the funds from the fellowship. So there are different grants that are available right now. So previously there were not, and it was extremely tough to, enter the biotech space. But right now you have a lot of opportunities. But the thing is, you have to keep looking for them and keep applying. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Devyani. I'm from Amravati University. My question is to Kanchan ma'am. I'm basically curious to know that how much time you needed to sell your first product, first question. And second, second question is to anyone can answer. What is the most common problem when we think of a startup? So what is the most common problem we face?
The common problem, I can say, money.
Okay. Excluding that.
Team. To make a team. Yes.
Okay.
Because team is very important, I think, because you cannot do everything alone. And if you don't have money, you will not get a good team, I can say. Because every time, everyone cannot be passionate like you. So most of the time, money drives people. What I have experienced. So, and about my first product, I took almost 2 years to develop my product, because testing and validation, there are many steps to develop the product and to pass QC and QA. But to sell the product, we required 2 months, because we sold our product yes, just 2 month back. And it was on Amazon platform, e-commerce platform. So it was easy because of the e-commerce, but right now we are struggling for B2B business and other thing.
Okay, thank you. So still now you are in the incubation stage, or you have established different...
We just entered in the market, but still we are learning.
Okay.
So incubation center is helping us from the beginning till now. Every day I'm just going to ask something to Shweta ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else would like to ask?
So I think it's about the mindset that you have. So, you might be one of the brightest minds in the world or in the country, but if you don't have the right mindset, then you won't enter into the space. You won't start your company. And the journey, you might see a lot of successful companies on LinkedIn or on Insta, but the journey is always, it's for everyone, it's not so easy or good. It's a very tough journey, and you need to have that resolve. So let's say, chalo ye nahi chala, okay, I'll do something else. I'll work on it, I'll do something else. I'll keep on trying, and one day you will reach your goal, or a certain stage that you wanted to achieve when you started that journey. So you should have that mindset in you.
It is not restricted to some duration of time. Generally, deep tech startups, they have the deliverables ready in market or sellable in market. That takes at least 4 years to 10 years time. This is what the downline one should expect. और कोई आसान प्रोडक्ट है तो वो 2 या 3 साल में भी हो सकता है. It depends upon what type of technological platform or what type of product you are working on.
Hello, I have a question. So, amongst all of you, have you started making profit yet? And how long did it take from your starting and to making profits?
Yeah, so that's easy to answer. No profit yet. We are close to starting to sell one product, but we haven't started selling yet.
So the biggest challenge with the tech development is the thing for getting profit, or like you can say, when you are going to make company at a profitable stage, this is quite challenging. First you have to develop technology, and if technology is accepted by the common persons, or you can say like adopted by some company, then only you are going to get profit. So it is like first you have to develop tech, then that should be accepted by the peoples.
Yeah. So there's a difference between selling a product and making a profit and having a profitable company. There are two, if you can have the product sold multiple times, so if it is scalable, repeatable, then that will translate to a profitable company. But you can sell a product for profit for a while, but if you can't sustain it for a fairly long time, then the company will not be able to stand on that. And so we are very early at. I mean, I think most, except maybe you, everybody else, and I don't know, maybe you, early, yeah. So we are all early stage, and so yeah, a very. It takes a lot of time, as Sir said. It takes anywhere between 4 to 6 years. It took us 4 years just to know whether whatever we were saying should work is working or not. Like I'll give you an example. If I were to modify yeast in any way, this is something that he also does, I think. It takes 1 week just to know whether whatever we are doing has worked or not. So that is very, the timelines are very different. So yeah, so no profits.
There is a thing called break-even in the business line. That the break-even is totally dependent on that amount of investment that you have done, and when you start getting the profit thereafter. So break-even point के बाद ही वो आता है. तो most of us, as I understand, has not reached break-even. हमने invoice बनाए हैं, लेकिन हमने जो इतना पैसा डाला है, वो पूरा compensate नहीं हुआ अभी.
We also sold only 40 products till now, but without advertising, again I can say. So we need to do lots of things on advertising, marketing and other things. Yeah.
You guys have done a wonderful job. I want to encourage all of you to grow and prosper. When you said advertising, it struck me, the old saying is, when you have a great product and you don't advertise, it's like winking at someone in the dark. You know what you're doing and they don't. So make sure you explore advertising in a different way, build your networks. Second is you can build, buy or ally. So you need networks to build your business, to form partnerships or alliance. You're too early to buy into another business. And third is always be closing your sales, to increase your funding, to form networks. Like you're saying, walking down in Detroit, you began to notice that you had a new perspective on life. You are guessing what this guy is succeeding, that's why he has this store. Like that, you also keep an open eye about getting funding and forming alliances. Those are my editorial comments, not a question. Thanks.
Awesome work, all of you. Just one few things that I thought. Have you thought of exit strategies first? The second thing is, how are you going to go for the international market? Because I don't know how much of your therapies and stuff that you're working on, you're competing with something that is well established. What are your go-to plans? Were you thinking of exiting in Indian companies or something, or you want to go abroad? Because most of Indian pharma is basically copy-paste or linkers or something and just scaling it up. Yours is a unique one, and you're competing with technologies like that in Harvard, MIT. How would you do that? Have you thought about that? What's your take on it?
I mean, it's going to sound very presumptuous right now to say anything about exit strategies because we don't have a product in the market yet. So I have a few ideas, but for me to say anything with confidence so I would not put a lot of money on whatever I'm saying right now. Is my disclaimer. Um, uh, the idea when we came back here, the idea was that we would like to be a profitable biotech company in India. After Biocon, there's not been an example of a profitable biotech company in India, as far as I know. I mean, there may be smaller companies, but not any of that size. So the exit strategy would be either an IPO or somebody just buying us out. Buying out is something that I don't find acceptable, because what would I do? I would just go and start some other company with some other idea. This is keeping in mind that just today 3 of our experiments didn't work. Okay, so we've got a long way to go. But if everything works out well, the two common sort of exit strategies are an IPO or like get listed publicly or get acquired. That is what we are looking at. Yeah, sure. Till you get the mic, I'll just finish the. Should I?
So I want to add one part. Like most of here are doing research, and most of them may be going to get IP. If they are going to get IP, then there are chances that their product is completely different what is currently existing. So there are chances that they can be right now. They don't know. Means we don't know. In starting, we expect that it will make complete change in the world, but when you are going to get progress, it sometimes it will work or sometimes it will not. So if someone is getting IP, then there are chances that he will compete in the world also. So that is the.
Just to add to what I wanted to say, I wanted to bring out is, if you don't have an exit strategy, no VC is going to put money in you.
Yeah. No, so
that's one
what
thing.
I meant to say was that an exit strategy right now is just a plan, right? I'm just saying things. So it's not that we don't have an exit strategy. It's just that there is currently, that is not on the priority list. Like the priority list is get the tech, acquire the IP, start some sales. And then when you reach that stage, there are anyways, there are ways of exiting. Because if you have a profitable company, people want a piece of that pie. Nobody currently right now, like Dr. Reddy's or Pfizer or nobody is, looking at what we are doing. They don't care, right? Because, it doesn't matter. If you start doing profitable and if you start hurting other people in the business space, in a business sense, people will start finding ways of either being a part of your journey or, shutting you out in some way. So the exit strategy discussion comes well at that stage. I could right now, for example, say that, our paid up capital is about like 10 lakhs, the floating shares about 10,000. There is a, ESOP allocation of, we have all the structure is there, but it is currently not relevant, because even if I had exit strategy right now, it is not going to get executed.
Thanks,
What I
Devesh.
think.
Let's exit the exit. No, I want you to take one last question from a planning participant.
Sure, but he asked a very good question about the US thing. So should I?
No, first the planning one.
Okay.
Sushil, 2 minutes. Yeah.
Good.
And you can discuss it further over dinner because they'll shut shop at 8. We don't want
Good
to
evening,
miss that.
everyone. Actually, my question is, as a PhD student, if I get into the entrepreneurial venture, then how much the research I have to do and the managerial thing, how the thing balance out, and like means we spend most of our time in our lab, so we are pretty how to do research, but how the life is like for managerial work and like research. Do we do actual research there, or like most of the things are managerial, and how these things work out?
Well, my question to you is, aren't you a manager of your own project in PhD?
Yes, actually.
You do the same in startup.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Like means, what my real question is, like in a lab we do experiments and then analyze the data and all those things. It's kind of same for the all means like how much difference it is or how much same it is.
It depends on your idea, right? Sorry. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I would say that at least in the beginning, a couple of years, you have to do everything, right? Because you need to, you have to order stuff, you have to do the experiments, you have to write the grant pitches, you have to go and pitch in front of a lot of people, you have to go and speak to potential customers, know what they actually want, and then come back, analyze the markets, look at your competitors. So everything needs to be done by the founders. So you might have a team, but it will be a small team, maybe 2 people, maybe 4 people, but it's a small team and all of you need to cover up everything that is there to do. Later on, let's say you are able to get the product into the market, it is profitable, then you have a big team, then it can be more structured, more specialized, for each sector, that there's a separate marketing team, there's a separate sales team. But, at least in the beginning, you need to do everything. That's the simple thing.
Also,
So we are talking about time management. So I exercise.
I have one last question. Are you fine? Is it fine? 1 minute just. Just a small question.
Can we discuss over dinner?
1 minute.
Oh.
Okay.
You are, please introduce.
Yeah, I'm Dipin from Hyderabad. I'm doing BS-MS first year at IISER Pune. I had a doubt that is it mandatory that the whole team should know the science part of your startup? And let's take a scenario where you'll have to explain some person about your startup who's not even your target audience or who doesn't know have the knowledge at least for the science part. You are going for funding or some raise and they don't understand it. How did you overcome it?
Yeah. So coming to the first part of the question, so my co-founder is a BTech in civil engineering. So, no relation whatsoever to genetic engineering and, modifying microbes. But there should be some level of understanding of the tech, maybe not all, but some level of understanding as to what's the overall picture, what are you doing, what is it for. Coming to the second part, it's extremely tough to make people understand what you are doing. Coming from an academic background where you are used to speaking to professors and other peers who are working in the same line of work, what happens is people like straight to your face they say bhai kuch nahi samajh aaya, jao. So you need to tone it down to a level that the person in front of you is able to understand. So once I had a call and that guy said, see, you gave the pitch, but I didn't understand a thing. So I had to explain it to him in layman terms ki bhai dekho, this is bacteria and there's something called as a genome, and I have to bring it down to his level so that he's able to understand. That call went on for 2 hours and after that he was like, okay, now make a doc and send it to me, then I'll read and then I'll let you know. So things like that happen. So you have to understand who is standing in front of you and deliver accordingly.
Thank you everyone for your discussion and such an interesting discussion we had. We hope we can take it ahead further for the dinner that we have arranged in the guest house. Before all of us leave, I would like to call Dr. Sanjeev Grande, which is our founder director. Please come on stage now. For the felicitation we have to give. Please.
Also former Dean R&D.
Yes,
IISER
Pune. Many of the faces might be familiar for you. Kanchan, please. Umashankar. Ash. Mansi. Nilesh. Yogesh. Dr. Yogesh, please. Yeah, before you leave, let's just pose for a group photo and then we'll